Okay, so several of you who know me have asked why I haven't talked about the place. So here it is. Buckle your seatbelts. Actually, yeah. After I graduated college, I got a job with a company in the western suburbs of Hartford, and pretty quickly, by talking to coworkers, learned that there was a haunted restaurant in town, and it was Colonial Tavern. It was like a lot of the old taverns in New England. It was a stagecoach stop on one of the many turnpikes. So this was on the Hartford to Albany Turnpike. So I think it was the first night's destination. Anyway, built in 1780. Um, it's currently a restaurant, but it was an inn, and open for lunch and dinner. So started to hear tales about friends of coworkers who were managers there. They would get calls in the middle of the night that the lights were all on. Candles would reignite themselves. One tale is they came in first thing in the morning to open up, and they found in one of the dining rooms the wood Hitchcock chairs were all piled up in a corner. All sorts of fun stuff like that. If you go and you actually eat at the restaurant, this was true before it changed hands. I don't know if it still is, but the wait staff will gladly share their experiences they've had while working there. So every time you ask, "Oh, I was vacuuming and I heard my name whispered in my ear," um, mugs or glasses have slid down the tavern bar and the upstairs. The second floor is the tavern, downstairs is the restaurant. But the tavern upstairs seems to be more haunted than downstairs, because that was where the bedrooms were for the owners, the homeowners. The attic was the space where the overnight guests would stay in the inn section. And of course, the bottom floor at the time was the main eating area. So anyway, um, local legend has it there is a spirit that haunts that building named Abigail, and everything that's been happening in that building over the last 50, 60, 100 years has been attributed to Abigail. So supposedly the tale is that Abigail and her husband lived there before the revolution, um, or during the revolution, and he went off to battle. He got very badly injured from a cannon backfire, and his face was all burned and scarred up. So um, he's gone. He finally recovers, recuperates, so he's badly scarred, not very recognizable. He comes home to Abigail and finds her in bed with someone else from town. So supposedly, he actually worked there for a while because she didn't recognize him, because he's trying to figure out what's going on, and then figures it out and apparently offs the boyfriend. I can't remember if he killed her too or just banished her, but any case, um, there was a painting portrait done of Abigail and her baby daughter, and he took that painting and cut her face out of it. So for years they had a painting with no face on it. Apparently, during some renovations done probably 30 years ago, they found the missing piece of this portrait with her face on it under the attic floorboards. So they restored the painting, and now it hangs down in the front entrance. So some of the more popular tales of activity going on upstairs. The ladies' bathroom apparently was part of Abigail's bedroom, and somewhat regularly, uh, women will go into the bathroom, you know, take care of business, then wash up in the sink, and they would see an old haggard woman appear behind them in the mirror while they're washing up, and you would hear a scream erupt in the restaurant. So I didn't hear that or see it myself personally, but that's long known to have happened. Also, there was a tale where a young girl was washing up in the downstairs bathroom right off the front entrance, and she's washing up, and then all of a sudden this scarred, disfigured old man comes in through the door into the bathroom and stares at her, and she screams and runs out. So apparently that was Abigail's long lost or vengeful husband. I heard some tales also at work. One of our quality engineers took a supplier down there for lunch one day, and of course tells the tale. Yes, the place is haunted, Abigail, so on and so forth. And but we don't really believe that. And as soon as she said that, her salad plate slid 6 inches to the right by itself. She freaks out. She never goes back there again. So all sorts of fun tales from this place. As for my experiences, I went a few times, but I didn't really start going there um, a lot until the 2000s. Worked for another company in the area, and the younger coworkers of mine wanted to experience this, so we started going there a couple times for dinner. So first time, we sat in back corner. I was kind of by the radiator up against the wall downstairs, and we started talking about Abigail and so on and so forth. And then the entire left side of my body gets ice cold, the cold numb tinglies. I said, well, I think we should stop talking about her because she's standing right next to me, or someone is standing right next to me. Another visit, one of their desserts at the time was a chocolate souffle, which they would make on order, and it took about 20 minutes. And while they're making this, one of the wait staff would usually take you around if you wanted to see the attic, see the basement. The basement cellar, and it does look like a cellar, um, was apparently a stop on the Underground Railroad. So when you go down there, they show you the charred timbers from a fire they had in 1781, from which they rebuilt the house. And then they take you to the bricked off corner space in the cellar, which was the hiding spot for the escaped slaves. And so there's a small, tiny little opening in the wall. You look through, and there's actually like a bed, what's left of a bed, and a potbelly stove in the corner. And also, uh, I'm not sure if it was, I don't remember seeing it. There was a tunnel that ran from that space under the road to the Colonial home across the street. And that was another stop on the Underground Railroad. So they could move people back and forth without being seen. Um, Supposedly, both those locations have reported seeing the same spirits. So they're probably running through the tunnel still to this day. So we got tour of the cellar. And that our guide slash server at the time told us a tale of how they went to get some wine, and the wine cellar is in the cellar, and it's a locked door, so they have to have the key. So she mentions out loud, "Oh, I need to go get a bottle of 1950 Merlot, whatever the vintage was," and then gets the keys, goes down the cellar steps, and lo and behold, that bottle of what she wanted was sitting on the second step, and the door was still locked to the wine cellar. So I think she used that wine. Anyway, um, another tale in the building is that there's a young girl who resides in the attic. There's a dormer window on the side of the building, side of the attic roof, and there's a couch in front of it, and supposedly she loves that couch. So I was there another time with a vendor we were doing business with. They wanted to see the haunted restaurant. So we got the tour, and we were brought up to the attic. So the server this time is telling us about how a paranormal group had come in, found a portal in the attic wall, and detected some sort of ghost uh, in the attic space as well. Um, there's also another long-standing tale. There is a daycare center next to this tavern, and several times the children have been out playing in the yard, and they will stop and they'll be looking up to the house, to the tavern, and be asked, what are you looking at? And say, "Oh, we're waving hello to the girl in the attic window." So anyway, we go up there. I start sweeping the walls, and I find a cold spot on the wall between two of the windows. And then a friend of mine's with me. We go into the dark, unused space. Part of the attic by the stairs was used for storage. The rest of it was just empty, long stripped out. So walk down that dark hallway. There's no lights. And I get about 10 feet in, and then I walk right into an icy cold spot from my belly button down to the floor. Ice cold. And a friend of mine's behind me, and he said, I think I just walked into the little girl. She's right here. So she freaks out, runs out, my friend. I said, okay, I found your little girl. Hello, hope you're doing well. Whatever. I turned, I quickly got out of there. But uh, the the waiter, the wait staff did confirm that where I felt the cold spot on the wall was where the paranormal group had identified the location of the portal. So I got some confirmation that I know what I'm sensing. But yeah, for other stories, those are my personal experiences. I went with a friend once. We were upstairs again in the tavern. There's two high back chairs up against a wall next to a bookshelf, and we were sitting there enjoying some whiskey or drinks. And he says, "Oh, I just got touched." And he's sitting in the high back chair. He felt someone or something grab onto his shoulder from behind. Now, mind you, there's a high back chair with a wall behind that. So, of course, that has to be the spirit, Abigail or someone else. Um, so, anyway, the restaurant has changed hands again. It's been remodeled. They did have a fire. I don't know if they found the origin, but it started in a trash can by the kitchen, set off the sprinkler system, and then basically for a couple hours, the sprinkler system doused everything in the downstairs, ruined the plaster, ruined the walls. So it had to be stripped down and redone. And I think when that happened is when they discovered, um, ripping everything out, they found a baby shoe under one of the windowsills. And so apparently in the colonial days, they would often do that as like a memorabilia, artifact, time capsule for good luck, whatever reason. They would put something of value or sentimental value under the windowsills. So they found a baby shoe under the windowsill. Is it Abigail's daughter? We don't know. I don't remember them discovering who. Um, that was about the same time that Ghost Hunters, the TV show, the plumbers from Rhode Island went in with their video cameras and they spent a night at the tavern and, of course, didn't find anything while they were there. Of course, they were in there for one night. But anyway, it's a very interesting place to visit. Little bit of Google research will tell you where that is. I'm not going to name names on my videos, but western suburbs of Hartford, very famous location. So those are my experiences there.